Alright guys, this is a LEGO Star Wars MOC. This is my New Republic S4-Cargo walker. And this is my entry for a LEGO contest over on TJ the Brick Wright's LEGO channel. He does a lot of, his YouTube channel. He does a lot of cool LEGO Star Wars contests, and there's always a lot of participants, and it's really fun to see everyone's creative ideas. So this contest, and I'll kind of take a little spin around things as I chat about it. So this contest was, the prompt was to design a walker for the New Republic. And it could be kind of anything we wanted. I think it just had to have at least in between 2 or 6 legs, or up to 6 legs. We can kind of be creative with it and do whatever we wanted with it. So this is what I came up with. The name, it's obviously a cargo walker. It's a walker and it hauls some cargo. It's an S4-Cargo walker. So S would be for like standard size. So they'd have, the New Republic I figured would have some like smaller 2-legged like personal cargo walkers that could haul little bits of cargo. And then maybe some like, big tall ones like the, AT-AT size. But this would be a standard size. And this is kind of comparable to like, the ATTE we see in the Clone Wars and stuff like that. So when I was deciding what kind of walker the New Republic would have, I was trying to think about what are kind of the goals of the New Republic. And they were very much so in the mindset of, peacekeeping, building up peace, promoting peace, stuff like that. So I decided against doing like a full-blown like military walker. That probably would have been fun to build too. But I decided to focus on something different. So this is kind of it's almost like a construction walker. You can see this crane on top. We'll get to all the features, but this crane does go up and down, and it does move from side to side. Fun feature. We'll touch more on that later. So yeah, New Republic, I'm thinking, they're building bases, they're exploring, a lot of construction is going on. So a lot of parts are going to be needed to be hauled to construction sites. So boom, I got the cargo walker. So this cargo walker has a crew of 5. You can probably see 4 of the minifigures already, and I'm sure you can guess where the 5th one's at. But we'll take a look at the kind of the cockpit here first. So there's 2 very light like anti-personnel cannons. This cargo walker is still going in maybe some militarized zones of the Empire. There's some holdouts or whatever. So there needs to be very light armaments here. But these guns and then a pair of long blaster rifles, that's pretty much all this has in way of armament. So some lights here, some like heavy duty construction lights here. So this front area, the head of the walker, if you will, it can open up like this, and then you can split the legs out a little bit, and then all the way like that. We can check out the pilot of this walker real quick. Good torso and legs from, I think it's the E-Wing. Don't quote me on that. But she's got a nice comfy chair here, computer console, couple levers and stuff, and then some additional like panels and stuff that are attached onto the windscreen right here. There's some upside down building going on right here. This whole chunk is kind of locked in with some Technic lift arms. I can actually just pop this off. So yeah, a couple like extra computer screens for our pilot there. And here's a little better view of the interior of the cockpit of this. So get that put back together. These just close off like so. There's also a window right here. Get some transparency above her head there too. So we'll continue to introduce our crew of minifigures here, but also we're gonna just talk about the purpose of the walker. So right here is kind of the main cargo floor. Right now there are 3 different pallets of cargo. We can check these out later, but these would be some, I don't know, some like fusion ion cores for some power station or whatever. I don't know. Haven't thought too much about it. This just kind of a unique shape for some Star Wars cargo. Some blinking lights indicate that this is maybe like a cryogenically frozen special something or other. And then back here we kind of have a bigger cargo pod. This is just for looks. There's nothing actually inside, but I wanted to have something that you could pretend the crane, grabs onto and stuff. So this is our main cargo floor. He's kind of the engineer behind, the engineer and manager of this. So nothing gets loaded or offloaded without his input. He has a little headset to communicate with the rest of the crew. This was the first part of the walker I built. I honestly didn't know where I was going other than I wanted some place to put cargo on. So thought this kind of grill, these grill plates, I don't know what the official name is, lend themselves very well to the idea of some like rugged kind of construction looking type of walker. So I built this kind of 2x2 square for the cargo floor first. Then I added on the legs and the head and the crane and everything. So this was fun to build. I like the little safety guardrail kind of design here. A couple lights poking out. So yeah, as you can see, it's kind of a 2x2 square. So you can have like, bigger chunks of cargo, occupying 2 of the spots, and then smaller pods in one of the spots. And then kind of in between, there's a little walkway for this dude to make sure everything is going to plan. If there are 2 massive cargo pods, he's still gonna have this center walkway that he can get through, with these side ones obviously being taken up here. You can see the little opening in there to get to the pilot spot. Some kind of greebly details here. And then we'll move to the back of the walker. So this is New Republic. It's a new kind of organization, the Empire. There's still a lot of Imperial holdouts and stuff. So there used to be a couple security personnel or infantry still kind of helping out these construction crews. So there are these 2 guys here, which are some of the newer recruits of the New Republic. I took the shirts. Let's get this to focus here. The torsos are from some Hoth troopers, and then the helmets are from that new Tantive 4 boarding set, whatever it's called. But I feel like a lot of the costumes in like Ahsoka and Mandalorian of the New Republic, they're kind of like old school uniforms. So the Hoth stuff and the stuff from episode 4 I feel like works pretty well for these guys to be security guards here. And there's nothing much. There's just a couple of these long kind of modified rifles planted in the back here. You can obviously pick them up and they can carry them and use them in front or whatever, but I thought they looked kind of cool mounted here. And then on the other side we see essentially the same thing, another mounted rifle right there. All right, so before we get to kind of the main feature with the crane, I want to talk about the legs a little bit. These do articulate kind of back and forth, so you can imagine the walker, kind of walking like that. They don't have any, well, that's kind of a lie. They have some hinge articulation, like up and down, with these 2 Technic pieces here in the middle. But honestly, it's kind of locked in by these cheese wedges. So, I thought about, having it being able to splay out, but I went for aesthetics over function for these legs. I do like, how they look. A couple lights on the bottom, some greebling details. I just wanted some like beefy, chunked up legs to support this, kind of make it more of a believable, construction walker. So these are, I'll give you kind of a close up here. some greebling here. These do move back and forth. And all 4 legs are identical or mirrored or whatever. So those can just go like so. And yeah, after I built this cargo platform, wasn't sure where to go. So I'm like, it's a cargo walker, or it's a walker, it has to have legs. So I built the 4 legs, then, kind of went from there. All right, so let's talk about this final feature, this crane here. So this individual, he mans the crane. He unfortunately lost an arm in a crane accident involving this very crane. However, the loss of the arm makes him able to fit in this chair. So he got to keep his job, And in reality, I just wanted to make this compact enough. So, whoever was sitting here couldn't have their right arm. But there is a ladder up here. And still, it's still relatively accessible. A little cramped back there. Then on the other side, we have a little, a couple gauges, and figured this red button's like an emergency shut off for this crane. And then we got the crane itself. So I'm gonna turn this back around. The main feature of this, or kind of the unique thing of this crane, is that it can slide back and forth, and it can turn. So, can slide over, scoop up a piece of cargo, go bring it over, and then dump it off on the other side. Let's take a look at this guy. Just take it off. So that just stands freely on this track. There's no actual track or anything. It's just tiled off smooth. So the little build here can slide back and forth. So honestly, it's nothing too fancy. This just slides freely back and forth on the track. There's a little lever here, a little computer panel. Not enough room for the minifigure's right arm. And then this can go up and down. It's on a turntable, so it turns back and forth. And then honestly, I kind of had to get up here, like a connector thing there, but it was just way too heavy, and I wanted to make this as slim as I possibly could. So threw on a couple of chains here with some clips and stuff, so it can pick up stuff and stud into some cargo and then pick it up and drop it. Full disclosure, the crane ended up being more for looks than actual function. If I connected this cargo thing to the crane, this is gonna drop, the crane's gonna fall off. But it looks cool, and that's kind of what's important for this contest, at least. As I talked about, there's different cargo pods and stuff. You can just have one of these sitting here, and maybe bring in a couple more guards or something, because this is a super expensive piece of equipment or whatever. But I made a couple of different options. So here's another kind of a bigger one. It looks kind of like a train car that would exist in real life, but whatever. So that can kind of click in there. This goes in here. So that's kind of, a unique look of its own, just with 2 massive chunks of cargo. Also, there's a couple of smaller options of cargo. We got some crates here that can be filled with whatever. So, maybe we want to put 4 different pieces of light cargo on. Boom, that's kind of its own unique look as well. One final piece of cargo I built was actually just this little module here. You can lock that in there and transport up to 10 additional workers for to help out with whatever construction site you're on. Again, this is my New Republic S4-Cargo walker. This was a blast to build. I've honestly never built a walker before of any sort. As a MOC, I built the official Lego sets, some of them and stuff, but I maybe kind of shied away from them. I realized you need a lot of the same pieces. If you make 1 leg, you have to have that many pieces times 4 just to make all 4 legs. Unless you want to make them different, whatever. But it's kind of difficult as a MOC builder to do that, because pieces aren't always super readily available and stuff. So grateful that TJ kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone. I had a ton of fun building this. See you guys for the next one.